Hey guys, what is up? It is me, GRAINY, and today we are going to be talking about pantsers and outliner. What is the difference? How do they discover how to write? Actually, there's actually a very huge difference between a pantser and an outliner. A pantser is a writer who discovers the story as they are writing. Like there's no plan to it. They just write the story as they write, which is actually so cool and it is so fascinating, and I wish that I was that skilled. But alas, I am not. I am a outliner. So what is an outliner? An outliner is someone who actually plans out their entire story before they even get started. So the questions that they ask before they even get started on their story is, who is the protagonist? What happens to them in the second act? What is their goal? What is their story arc? And what is the antagonist goal? What is the antagonist's goal? And what does the antagonist do to the main protagonist in the entire story? Like, these are questions that the outliner has to ask before they even get started on writing this story. I gotta say, outliner and pantsers are, to me personally, are both equally talented people. They are just absolutely awesome. Like, I've known there's actually quite a bit of authors who do the outline before they even get started on the story. And one of the more popular authors, from what I can tell, as well, are all pantsers. Like, they make up the story as they go, and both of them are just equally talented, they're equally creative, and they're just absolutely awesome to read. An example of a outliner, however, a lot of the outliners actually do whole stories, like a whole book series. Like, I know I keep bringing up Aurora Rising a lot, but I just read that series recently. It was very well written despite the badly written romantic tropes, but that just made it all the more funnier. Side note. But the Aurora Cycle series was planned first. They did everything very carefully. They've outlined it very carefully. One of the things that they did too is they actually put a part of the first chapter on the one of the last pages of their books, and that's an example of a carefully written book. And you can tell that it was carefully written because of the last few pages in the book, and that they planned it, they outlined it, they written it very, very carefully. And despite the badly written romantic tropes, which again I find is absolutely hilarious, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't stop reading it. Just saying! And yeah, the book was really good, and they written it very carefully. Actually, an example of a pantser is an author that I've been following on YouTube for a good year now. She's basically written upwards of like at least 6 or 7 books, 6 or 7 books, one of the two. Can't remember. It's probably a lot more, but from what I can tell, she's published 7 books, and she's a pantser. Like, she made up the story as she went. And like, granted, yeah, she did have an idea of what she wanted to write, but she made up the story as she was writing, and I gotta say, it was really good. I can't wait to start one of her books called Brightly Burning. I can't wait to read it. It looks like it's really good. It's a retelling of a John Eyre book, so I can't wait to get started on it. It's actually a little, in a weird way, it's harder to tell if a book was well planned or if it was made up as they were writing, because some of those books are just so well written. So well written. And like, speaking of outliners, sorry, I'm looking down, I do have some notes here. An example of outliners, some people are a mixture of both pantsers and outliners, which is what I am. I'm a discovery writer, and what a discovery writer actually is like, say for example, say you've planned your entire series, your 5-book series, right? You have it all planned out and you're writing it all out, draft by draft by draft, and you're editing it and everything like that, and you discover this great plot device, or you've discovered that this pairing makes is such is so awesome and they have great chemistry, and you actually want to eventually make them canon in the last book or something. That's a discovery writer. When you discover all these new things, about your book, but you really don't want to put it in another franchise or another book or standalone and such, you want to put it in your book because it was just that awesome of a plot device or awesome moment, even if it's just like one line. All in all, a discovery writer is someone who discovers new plot devices as they're writing out an already planned out series. I can't help but think that maybe I am actually a mixture of both. There were moments in the first draft of my first book that I was like, what am I going to do in this chapter? And then I realized what I could do, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what, let's write it out. And I've written it out. The person who read it seemed to like it, so that was awesome. Another moment was when I thought that I just could not get past this chapter because I didn't know what to put there. And then I've been thinking about it, and then it clicked into me. I was like, hold on, this is actually a good moment for me to switch things up a bit. And then as I was writing the chapter, I discovered one thing and I added it into the book. Ended the part of the chapter there and then moved on. And that's an example of an outliner adding in something that they did not plan to put in the book, but they put it in the book because it makes sense for the book, it makes sense for the franchise, and it was just like absolutely awesome. It was an awesome moment for me, and I can't wait to discover more things about my book. And yeah, that's basically pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, is like the difference between pantsers and outliners. Actually, another example of a pantser would probably be Bethany Atazadeh. I've been following her also on the YouTubes. Her first 2 books were very carefully planned out. Like, she outlined it, but for her Stolen Kingdom series, she basically pretty much pantsed very well most of it, but she had a general idea on what she wanted to put down, and then she just discover written the rest of the books. And I can't wait to get started on that series too, because, well, I'm a sucker for book series. I can't help it. I love the characters in books. I love it all. And yeah, I can't help it. But yeah, she's another example of someone who is kind of like in between a pantser and an outlet. She's basically kind of all three, because she plans out her books most of the time, and then she makes up whatever it is that she's got to go, and then she discovers brand new things about her book. And I guess that's also, in a way, another question. What is the difference between a pantser and a discovery writer? I think I might have already said it, but a pantser is that you just make it up as you go. You just continue to write. Discovery writer is discovering something brand new in the already made up book. Like, say for example, say the pantser had already went through a draft or two of their book. They realized something could work for a certain scene. And they're like, oh my goodness, hold on, this can work. And then they add it in. And that's what the difference is between a pantser and a discovery writer is. That's the difference between a pantser and an outliner is. And yeah, that's pretty well all I have time for today, guys. And stay awesome, stay safe, and this is your weekly reminder to wash your face before you touch the traffic light. I don't know. Anyways, you guys have a good day. Stay awesome, stay safe. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more writing content. And don't forget to ring the little bell. And thank you guys so much. And have yourselves a good day.